Former Labor leader and Albanese government minister Bill Shorten is retiring from federal politics. Mr Shorten lost 2 elections but has been an integral part of his successor Anthony Albanese's front bench and says the time has come to do something different. Political reporter Matthew Doran has more from Canberra.
There's always rumblings about the future of senior ministers, senior members of any political party ahead of an election. Needless to say, when it's someone who used to be the leader of a party, that speculation rumbles even louder. But it's fair to say that many people were taken by surprise at the timing of this announcement from Bill Shorten, announcing that after a career in Parliament that stretches back to 2007, he will not be contesting the next election as the member for Maribyrnong. He has managed to secure a pretty significant political win in the last couple of weeks or so, shepherding through a significant suite of reforms to the National Disability Insurance Scheme, which is currently under his stewardship as the minister responsible there. This is something that he has had, a scheme that he has had a deep involvement with ever since it was first dreamt up during the Rudd Gillard years, and now he has found himself trying to ensure the ongoing sustainability of that scheme, which is undoubtedly doing immense good right across the country, but there are deep concerns that it is also an incredibly expensive scheme and needs to be reined in, something that Bill Shorten has had at the top of his to-do list since becoming the Minister for NDIS in the last term of government. On that issue and what his legacy may well be now that he is leaving Parliament, although not leaving until February next year, he was asked whether or not he has done the job to fix the NDIS, whether more work is needed, and he pointed to that recent political wrangling and negotiations that he's had to undertake to explain his position.
What we did 3 weeks ago in the Parliament has meant that we will be able to set this on a direction where the scheme will be true to its original purpose, where the shonks and frauds are evicted, and we'll start focusing on outcomes for people. And I'm absolutely positive about the bright horizon for the NDIS.
Matthew, what's Mr Shorten had to say about his role in the internal machinations of the Labor Party during his career?
Yeah, he has been deep in those wranglings, those ructions that we saw, particularly through the Rudd Gillard years between 2007 and 2013. He was one of the so-called faceless men who was integral in bringing Kevin Rudd's prime ministership, his first prime ministership, to an end, working the phones and securing the numbers to replace him with Julia Gillard, and then later on replacing Julia Gillard with Kevin Rudd once more. Bill Shorten has been a feature of the Australian Labor Party for many, many years, and while he then went on to lead the Australian Labor Party, of course questions are going to go back to that tumultuous time in politics and whether or not he regrets any of those actions which led to eventually the decision by the Australian public to boot Labor out of office at the 2013 election. In typical Bill Shorten style, here's how he responded.
Regrets. I might borrow from someone else. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do, but much more than this, I did it my way.
Shorten invoking Sinatra there in his press conference announcement about his retirement. This brings to end a political career that not only stretches back to 2007 as the member for Maribyrnong, but even before that as the National Secretary of the Australian Workers' Union, when Bill Shorten shot to prominence really as the face of the Beaconsfield mine disaster there. His time in public life is not over, confirming today that from February next year he will be taking up the role as Vice-Chancellor of the University of Canberra. Ross?
Thanks, Matt.